Hello, my name is the Micro Channel, and we are hard talking about realistic war simulation. Well, in the recent years, there has been game much of the realistic war simulation. If we wanna just to feel ourselves as the wanna be a real soldier in the real war, and how we can simulate it in the PC right now, there is hundreds and hundreds commercial products which promise use as some features and the gameplay that we can feel as be the real soldier in the real battlefield. Let's take in a little bit a notion about these games. There is many categories that you can use. There is a flight simulators, there is naval warfare, tank simulator, and first-person shooters. There's also real-time strategy games. Well, the games has evolved on the PC in the past 50 years quite a lot. When the PC has now to get the bigger and the bigger on those computer power, we can just also see how much the games has evolved. They have been getting graphically and the sound interface, and there is going to AI bigger. These are very important things. Well, the AI is perhaps one of the most important things of the realistic combat simulation. If we cannot just do something, if we are just dogfighting against of the MiG-29 and we are using of the F-60 when we are playing of the Falcon 4.0, and if this dog doesn't have a realistic maneuvers and the tactics, it doesn't feel right. Yes, we know it doesn't feel right, and that's why AI is important. When we are playing on some kind of the big and the simulation, like the Armed Assault Operation Flashpoint, we are expected to see also the civilian life versus civilian life when we are going into the battlefield on the first-person shooter. This civilian life should respond to the soldier and warfare realistic way, and that's what the games are lacking. Also AI, they should have maneuvers, whatever are they tank or are they the combat flight or whatever they are, they should always to be have much of the script behind of them, and then they doesn't need the mission specific and anymore the scripting when they already have been scripted that they can anywhere to the work it. The games had to include when they comes in the mission editor. And when it comes, also they should be having. Take a look of this Crisis game. It has so many great features. Example, the graphics are the top notch, the best so far even see the PC. I'm not talking about how the game is otherwise gameplay as an arcade and the story is bad, but the game engine is a very update in this date, and this game should be also the realistic war combat simulators and the example how we can use. So the better way is that every game engines will include the huge vast terrain. That's the important. It's the main thing. If there is a not big terrain, I can't just feel myself right there. I hate if I go to the sea that there is some corridors or some blocked things. Example, always when there is a street, there is a cars, there's a burning cars. They always block you to get in just ahead. That's what they're hating for. Where? What about the artists and games? What is the realistic games? They need also the huge authentic sound. Authentic sound is the one thing what the people are just the notion the first. If we cannot just audience to get to the realistic, authentic, gun muscle when we play the game, this is the sound that snoof. It doesn't feel right. You know it. It doesn't just feel right. Or if there is not ambience music in the warfare, or if there is not the real way to talk it is just a plain, it's a boring. That's what the game, that we have to absolutely avoid. So the game should have always also big budget behind of them. So why we have so many the game developers who has only few developers and they don't give and that's much value of the small details. We need a much of the features. We need all the times include every new release, all that the existing on the tricks what has done in the other games. So if there's some in the modern games, we can expect every new release there will be rock dolls. Whether I can never and what to animals to their position, what those doesn't have to take in on the terrain or on the environment. That is not unaccessible, absolutely. So for a while, also the graphics, the sounds must be also AI, and the physics. Physics has been one of the features one has in the recent year, and getting by the new computer processor. Also, the extra there was a physics X, the card which does, however, just to be failed. I'm sorry, nobody just even bought a card because it wasn't just an in-out. There was an in-out support of the games beyond of the Unreal tournament and some of the smaller releases, but never there was nothing with what we can do it in the extra power of the computer CPU. If we have, for example, the dual core or the dub or the quad core, what about if the 8 cores or the more? When we got in the next few couple of years, we're gonna get into the CPUs which has the multi-cores. And that's the way how we're gonna also the graphic cards can include if they have the equal time if there is on the Unreal power to use environment. We need to the real World War simulation all the elements what makes them feel right. So where we began. First, there is a money games which have absolutely horrendous story. That's something what we absolutely doesn't. We try to avoid it in the last castle. And so far, we need a realistic setups on the city. So when we can expect what we're gonna have, of course we can simulate times and times again to the World War II, all those battles, to Normandy, and all the rest to the last piece. Also the Vietnam and the Gulf of the Persian War and the Iraq War. Also there is 1,100 conflicts has been so far on to the last century human war with the big guns and use it. And those are, there is a small and no games has so far much of the beyond of the Second World War or the Vietnam has been included them. The games like the Call of Duty 4, the Crisis, and the Battlefield 2 are the main games which are played by also the Counter-Strike. These are not the games what I'm calling of the simulation. They perhaps doesn't simulate that as real it can get on the real war. When we shoot on the or to the gun, we expect that we get realistic damage of the opposite player. Also, when we got on the damage, we also immediately and got some damage which will affect you. That's the main real. They have to always accrue. It's not only the fun gameplay might be on the money players. Indeed, there is only small of use crew, the simmers who wanna see. And there is a money games what we could do. The Just Recon, Operation Flashpoint, and the Rainbow Six, and every release since HO to the Raven Shield was a good. Also, there was a games like the Illuration, the Unreal Tournament mod, Unreal Tournament mod, make everything as real as it called. That's the game what every modern, the new game should take a notion about. Okay, we have the tank simulator, we have the steel beats with the show. If we're gonna combine it to one game, let's do the best of the best games. So, the flight simulator, we should include the Lock-On, Falcon 4.0, the flight simulator, IL-46, and the Hinge. From the Naval War, we should take a Silent Hunter, we should take the notion of the danger wagers, and the first person shooters. There's the RTS, real tactics shooters. Full Spectrum Warriors was one of the games what was made to the United States Army, beyond the American Army. American Army was a game just designed. Well, again, I doesn't look like that much of the small. There is thousands of games which the people can play, but whatever, what is every this game, I'm expecting to see that we can accompany combine singly features from these games and do it the one ultimate realistic simulation.